What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. Tahaka Bey beat Tariq Nasheed in court. Tahaka Bey, Moorish World TV, beat FBA's leader, Tariq Nasheed, in court. So I just wanted to make sure I bring that to you. My brother from another mother, Tahaka Bey, the unofficial lawyer, the unofficial champion. The dude, hey, look, I knew, dude said he represented himself. I knew he was going to be fine, all right? If you look at Tahaka Bey, the way he presents information, you can tell he's a natural resource, a researcher. He could have definitely been a lawyer. Like, for sure, Tahaka Bey could have been a lawyer. When I watch Tahaka Bey break shit down, I'm always impressed. I'm like, damn, like, how much work did he put into this? He put legitimate work. People could pay him for that shit. Like, he might have missed his calling. Tahaka Bey, you might have missed your calling, bro. I knew that you was that type of person from the get-go. Like, the type of person to go in there and be able to do your own case and then impress the judges and the defense, and impress them, right? So I'm happy Tahaka Bey won his day in court. Yeah, he may not got, you don't always get everything you want, but all in all, off principle, he won, right? This goes to show you that Tariq Nasheed is weak. He's a loser. He's not to be taken seriously, right? And he's not a pillar of the community, and it's been proven, right? He took him and his white lawyers, old white handler lawyers, tried to stop justice from happening, and it didn't work. Moorish World citizen, a sheik, all right, went in there, Joe solo dolo, right, and destroyed a multi-million-dollar law firm that Tariq Nasheed hired to take care of his legal business. They couldn't handle one Moorish man from Baltimore. That's how weak Tariq Nasheed is, and I'm happy that he lost. Right? Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Afro Think Tank, learn some, teach some. I'm out.
If I say that I'm the more you're gonna remember, that's what I meant. You heard me? Listen. So, fam, let me give y'all an update real quick before I gotta get out of here. Today was the final day of trial with myself and Mr. Tariq Nasheed. Let me give y'all the first breakdown. The first breakdown is that Tariq Nasheed looked very defeated in the courtroom. For the past few days that we've been in the courtroom, he looked very, very defeated. And I'm gonna tell you something, family. At one point, my humanity kicked in, and I had to remember who I was dealing with. But from my perception, Mr. Nasheed looked very ill. He looked very ill. Looked like he had lost weight. And I'm just giving the description. The back of his hair was salt and pepper gray. The front of his hair was shoe polish black. And I'll go into some greater details when I get to the studio, but I'm just telling you right now that the brother, listen, the brother did not look like the Tariq Nasheed I just smacked Tahaka Bey. I'm telling you right now. So I'll give you a brief breakdown. Now, to be honest with you, family, it was like, so I defended myself, right? I defended myself. And I want to give y'all a better breakdown, but I'll give you a breakdown like this because I only got a short amount of time before I get out of here. But in the beginning, right, it was kind of complicated to get my bearings, right? Because I come to court.
Save 30% on holiday sides and desserts. Save on mac and cheese, apple pie, and more. Get 30%
with all of this evidence, right? Like all of this evidence. And unbeknownst to me, that all the evidence is digitized. In other words, it's not like that in Baltimore, that you send all your evidence in and you really just have your papers with you in order to have an extra copy. But so I was there on some old school type stuff and trying to get all my papers together, et cetera, not thinking that they had already been put in and they digitized. And so whenever you approach to put evidence in, you don't have to do all that. They just put it on the screen. So that was one of my hiccups, right? But the trial, family, I knocked the trial out the water. After that little hiccup, family, I ran through this thing flawlessly. I mean, FBA, and I'm gonna be like this, and I'm not disparaging. FBA has definitely got some thinking to do, because I was in there fighting this super big law firm. These old Europeans that I was up against, Allah is my witness, and I don't lie. Allah is my witness. His attorney tapped out. I don't think y'all heard me. His attorney tapped out. When it was time for Mr. Nasheed to hit the stand, his attorney said he won't be taking the stand. He tapped out. He tapped out right then and there. He tapped out. I had all of my exhibits ready. I had everything ready. So they put on an expert witness. Let me rewind. Let me rewind real quick. So after I get through the digital process, everything is just flowing. One thing that I will say that Ms. Nasheed attorney was able to do was to make it look like it was an argument between Tariq Nasheed and I, as opposed to the focus on the slander. And so they was able to pull that off. They masterfully pulled that off, because you know I make a lot of videos, but my position was these videos was post the slander and the defamation. But nevertheless, they was able, I think in my mind, they were able to pull that off, right? But everything else, hands down, family, I think I'm going to school to be an attorney, man. For real. The way I put on this case, I think his attorney was like, no, we're not playing with this guy. Even the judge, family, the judge said, you put on a phenomenal case. You know what I'm saying? Now, the whole thing about it is that they were able to duck a substantial monetary judgment. They gotta pay, but they don't have to pay. I'm gonna save some of that for when I get to my studio. They gotta pay, but they don't have to pay what I filed the lawsuit for. And there's certain parameters why that is so. But I gotta save some for when I get to the studio. You know what I'm saying? Give me a 7 if you understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I gotta save some before I get to the studio. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I beat my case. You know what I mean? I beat my case.
What? You beat your case?
What's that? I beat that. So look. I mean, I beat my case, and they gotta pay. You know, is it what I wanted them to pay? No. But hands down, FBA, they really need to consider this, because I'm gonna tell you the truth, family. I'm gonna tell you the truth, family. Mr. Nesheed looked very pathetic and weak in there with these old Europeans trying to defend him. Listen, this is my opinion. It looked disgraceful. It really did. And I'm not even talking about an FBA movie. I'm just talking about from anybody who is melanated. It really looked disgraceful. It looked very disgraceful that a young brother, Moorish American, descendants from the inhabitants of Africa, family origins here from the plantation.
Meet Francis. His story is so inspirational, we turned it into a book.
Is facing, and these are older Europeans. I'm talking about, they like 70 years old. Seriously, these old attorney Europeans, like 70 years old. It was very, listen, it just looked bad. And like for instance, when you take yourself outside of yourself and you look at the reality of a situation, you said, man, this looks pathetic. Like at one point he was looking helpless, like save me. Cause at one point, even though he lost, I think he's kind of happy that he don't have to pay what the lawsuit was for. You know what I mean? I think he's kind of happy that he doesn't have to pay what the lawsuit was for, because he did. That's the only time he smiled. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, it was pathetic. I mean, it was pathetic. It looked really, really bad. And like I said, outside of the comments and the back and forth that Tariq and Nesheed and I had, just as an individual, just as a person, I mean, it looked bad. It looked bad. Somebody said, how many lawyers did he have? Well, on this case, let me guesstimate, it was about 5 of them. About 5 of them. Yeah, it's about 5 of them. But then, bro, listen, it got so heavy, right? Things got so heavy that the head of the firm had to come in. The head of the firm had to come in. And I think the head of the firm was like, don't let him testify. So basically, they put on an expert witness, right? The expert witness was an old guy. He was like, you know, that I'm gonna get the transcript. We're gonna do a show. I'm gonna order the transcript. I should order it now. I'll order it tomorrow. But the older guy, what up, May? The older guy, he was making statements like, in the black community, he said he was associated with the black community for about 50 years, and in the black community, it's normal for us to go back and forth with each other for competition, like he really racial. He really racially profiled this demonstration. I mean, he really racial profiled this demonstration. And yeah, let me say this. Although I didn't get awarded what the lawsuit was for, there's no doubt in my mind that the defendant spent over 100 to 150 grand on this. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind he spent over 100 to 150 grand on this. Easy. I'm talking about easy. I mean, I'm talking about I'm up against one of the biggest law firms in California. I'm surprised somebody ain't coming out here saying, hey, you want a record deal? Let me put you through school. I'm surprised. You want to go to school? You want a record deal? I'm surprised ain't nobody coming out the door and saying that, because after I cross-examined the expert witness, Tariq was supposed to take the stand, and the judge said, okay, next witness. His attorney stood up, Your Honor, my client will not be taking a stand and testifying, and yeah, we rest. I was like, what? Listen. If he would have took that stand, I had my thing lined up. Marcus, Vincent, Thomas, everything would have came full circle. Oh my goodness. But he didn't take the stand, man. He just took the L. He took the L, he bowed out. You know what I mean? So my plan is, listen, what I seen him today, oh man, I gotta tell y'all about the details, man. I gotta show you some of the evidence they put in. He bowed out, family. After I cover the case, I probably move on. Because he bowed out, family. I mean, really. Now, I hope he don't go and make a video as if he got a W. I hope he don't. You know what I mean? Because you can go look the case up. But I also think Mr. Nesheed found a new respect for myself. I think he found a new respect for me. I think he's seen how I moved around that courtroom. I think he's seen how I was presenting myself as an intelligent, respectable man with decorum. You know what I mean? I think he found a brand. If he didn't, he's just 2 times crazy. He's just 2 times crazy. But I was in there getting it in, family. I was in there getting it in. But I won today. The man. I won today, family. The case is now over. I'm the victor. I'm the first one on social media that sets a precedence. You understand? That you can have commentary. You can have commentary. You can say whatever you want. But don't let the commentary jump over to slander. Don't let it do that. Yeah. And I beat the FBA's European attorneys. That's what I did today. That's what I did today. I did it. I beat the FBA European attorneys.
Ain't nobody trying to argue with you all damn day, bro. Shut the fuck up. Damn.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.